Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Monday, January the 6th, and I'm coming to you from Cabo San Lucas today. Beautiful morning down here. It's an interesting start to our week. Let's take a look what's going on in the futures. If we look at the Bloomberg app, you can see that all three of the US indices are in the green and in the green quite a bit. And the Nasdaq's up over 1%. The S&P 500 is up close to 1%, and the Dow Jones is up about 0.5%. So it looks like it's going to start off as a good day. Remember, we're into a short trading week this week. We've got on January 9th, which is Thursday, the markets will likely be closed for the state funeral for ex-President Carter. We have job reports coming out on Friday. I believe on Tuesday, we're going to hear from the Longshoremen organization to see whether or not their talks have continued and how they're moving forward towards a potential strike, which I think comes on the 16th. On the 19th of January, obviously not this week, but in the next couple of weeks, we're going to hear a decision on uh, TikTok and whether that business is going to be forced to, the US side of it anyway, going to be forced to close and shut down or to be sold, or for that decision to be pushed off and delayed. So that has a potential impact on some of the stocks we watch, particularly Meta or Facebook and Alphabet or Google. So we'll keep an eye on all of those things as we go into the morning session today and scrolling across the screen. Can see that crude is continuing to catch a bid higher, which is good. If you bought some crude stocks on my recommendation in December, when I thought they had hit a low and would start to come back in January. So that's getting close to the 74 and a half mark. And then if we scroll over, we can see that futures, as we saw, were up. The VIX is up slightly, which is it's coming down, but that's odd that that's up right now, but in an okay range at 16.29. And then as we look through our list of stocks we follow, starting with health and retail, for the most part, everything is green on the screen in the pre-market. You can see healthcare's caught a bit of a bid in the last couple of days. So last Thursday, Friday, healthcare did okay, and it looks like it's up again today. You've got Walmart in the 90, under 91. So that's come off of a high of 93. That could be an interesting purchase going forward, although it is near its high. So you have to be a little leery there. Lulu has dropped down significantly last week into the 370s, up down from the 400s, and it recovered slightly Friday. Looks like it's going to be up again today. Costco, there's $1,000 stock less than a month ago. And it dropped down into the low 916s there, low 19s. So that is an interesting one if you're feeling specifically positive about Costco going into the new year. Transports are slowly climbing back. So JB Hunt had a good day on Friday. Oil had a good day for the most part on Friday, and most of those stocks are green today. They're just not moving up as much as I would have thought. Like we've had a few days in 2024 where oil hit some new highs and was on its way upwards. And we had some 4 or 5% gains for some of these stocks. And we've had similar 4 to 5% falls in 2024. But we're not seeing those pops yet. So we'll have to wait and see whether today translates into one of those for some or a couple of these crude stocks. Getting down into tech's looking like it's up significantly. You look at Nvidia's Granite shares there, NVDL, it is up $4 in the pre-market, so that's making its way back nicely. Micron at 89, climbing up another, looks like $5 into the 90s. So positive traction there on the semiconductor front. Palantir, which had an incredible year in 2025, it's in the green this morning, oddly. And then Reddit, it looks like it's getting close to we're going to be over the 180 mark today. That had an incredible run of almost 12 bucks on Friday. And then scrolling back down, Net, which has had a double upgrade last week by one of your analyst groups. It was up Friday. It's up again about the same amount today in the pre-market. Moving down to Microsoft, looking like it's climbing back closer to those 430s. Again, I think that 430, in the 420s, I think you've got a pretty solid buy in Microsoft to get back up to the 430, 440 range. They're going to announce in early February. I think the announcement's going to be positive there. Take a look at exactly when they're going to announce. Earnings are coming out end of the month, end of this month or beginning of February. And then ARM had an incredible day, even though it lost the lawsuit against Qualcomm in the last couple of weeks. It was up 12 bucks and back into the 140s. So bit of a steal on Friday in the 128 range. And then going down a little further, we've got Workday, which is just hovering in the 250s, not super attractive. LRCX. So this is one that I'm interested to see where this goes. I own some LRCX, and it's been a bit of a dog in the last, call it 6 months of 2024. It had a big stock split, as a number of companies did last year, a 10 to 1. It was $100 stock. This was pre-split. And it's never gotten back up to 100. It'd be interesting to see whether this breaks through the $80 mark in the month of January and then where that ends. I was forecasting that it could get back up into the $95 mark by the end of January. So going to be watching that one closely as I do have some holdings in that. Tesla, this thing got nailed on delivery reports last week on the Thursday, and it's now climbed back $31 Friday and up $11 on in the pre-market this morning. Meta, another favorite of mine, closed out at almost 605 on Friday, up about 5.5 bucks, and today up $3 in the pre-market. Um, what I'm expecting as we go into the morning session here today, as we look at a lot of this, is expect that look at TSM. Wow, up almost $10 in the pre-market, and it's already at 209. So that's a great that's a big jump for TSM, and it breaks through one of its upper barriers there with that kind of a move. So I'm just going to be watching the markets between 9:30 and 10 to see whether they open at these highs, and if they do, whether they pull back at all, and then where that pullback stops. And when it stops and we start to see a turnaround, I might look to buy in to a couple of the tech names or the finance names, which I haven't gotten to yet, if the overall index turns. So what I found last week, and it may not hold true this week, is that everything shot up on Friday at the open, but then it started to fall back or started to correct. It found a bottom and then it took off again. And I bought in after it bottomed and started to move upwards. And that trend repeated a couple of times throughout the day. So made for a good Thursday and a good Friday in that regard. So I'm going to be looking for similar trends there. SoFi in the $14 range, I think, is a steal. It looks like it's not going to open there. It's going to open in the 15s, but still, I think it's got a room to go upwards. And then my other favorite here is Goldman. I've been in and out of Goldman a fair bit recently, and it continues to move forward. I think with earnings coming up, the stock will continue to move forward. Again, I'm not looking to buy and hold anything right now. I'm trying to liquidate a lot of my positions just because of the amount of uncertainty that is out there, especially in January with the administrative changes in the White House and all of the other things that are on the calendar. I just think it's a very, very risky time. And with risk comes reward, there's no question, but you want to mitigate your downside. So I am going to cash when I achieve a profit level that I'm happy with on a trade and just waiting for the right time to buy back in because I don't want to get stuck like I did last year in a couple of positions where I bought in um, at what I thought was an entry point where it was going to go higher, turned out to be a high, and things turned around, and I had to hold the position for a little longer than I had anticipated and really wanted to. So that's what I'm thinking this year as we start the new year. I hope you did well last year in the markets. I hope you've learned a lot from the channel, and I hope you're liking these videos. And if you are, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll release more of these on a daily basis. Good luck with your